When I put the question box on Instagram for this Q&A, I got a lot more questions than I was expecting to get. So I'm going to try my best to get through the majority of them. I definitely won't have time to do all of them, but I will do my best. There are some repeated questions in there anyway, so I'll just try my best to answer as many as I possibly can, but this may be a little bit of a longer video. So the first question is, did you start as a part-time nail tech? If so, how did you transition to full-time? I actually have the first podcast episode I ever uploaded was a full story of like my journey to becoming a nail tech and to the point I am today. So if you do want to hear my full story, then you can go and listen to that. But the short answer is no, I didn't start part-time. Well, actually, it's a little bit more of a complicated answer because I didn't really go into it sort of thinking that this was going to be my full-time job. I very much enjoyed just doing nails and I didn't really think about the long-term goals. But once I had decided that I wanted this to be my job, I did sort of just dive straight into it. Was I working full-time straight away? No, because I didn't have enough clients. But that basically I didn't have another job, if that makes sense. Like I was doing this full time, even though I wasn't working full time hours. The next question is, being a home salon, do you have a uniform to wear? I'm stuck on what to wear. No, I don't wear a uniform. I always go back and forth in my head as to whether I want to have a uniform. I do think that there are definitely pros to having a uniform. I think not having to think about what you have to wear every day is really good. Looking professional as well, and just not ruining your clothes because you do get gel on your clothes sometimes. So no, I don't have a uniform. Sometimes I wear an apron, but honestly, I just wear my regular clothes and that works well for me right now. But I am considering getting maybe just some like t-shirts with my logo on, maybe not like a proper sort of tunic or anything like that because I know that I wouldn't feel comfortable in that, and I wouldn't feel comfortable wearing it all day, if that makes sense. So no, I don't have a uniform. I think that you know, when you work for yourself out of your home, I think that people like you to just be casual because it makes them feel more at ease and more comfortable. I may be wrong. I've never asked my clients whether they want me to wear a uniform or not, but that's just my opinion on it. So the next question is about rebranding. So if you don't know, I rebranded from the gel bottle. Well, I was using the gel bottle for my builder gel and then I had gel polishes from other brands as well. But I transitioned from that to using Honer and now I just fully use Honer in my salon. I don't use any other brands. So she asks, how did you know what colours to get rid of and when was the best time to do it? And how did you know what colours to buy? I'm finding it so hard. I just want to get rid of everything, which I completely understand. I think when you decide that you want to switch brands, your instant thought is like, oh my God, I need to do it straight away. I need to get rid of everything and I need to switch over completely. But honestly, I think when you're switching brands, you should just focus on your base products. So that would be like your base coat, your builder gel, and your top coat. I think that your gel polish colors are something that you transition slowly. So that's what I did. I transitioned completely over to Honer for my builder gels, base coats and top coats, and then I just slowly bought gel polish colours from Honer and sort of switched them out with the gel polishes that I had from previous brands. So as for colours, I honestly would just tell you to buy with the seasons. So we're obviously in autumn and going into winter. So I would just focus on the darker colours. Definitely buy some like staples like red, black, white, blue, all of those colours that you're going to use a lot of. But I would definitely like do it very slowly over the course of a year and just buy with the seasons as the seasons change. And it's also really important to remember that you don't need loads and loads of different colours. It's actually okay to have a limited amount of colours because you can mix colours together. I know that that's time consuming and not always easy. But yeah, I wouldn't focus too hard on your gel polish colours. I would more focus on your builder gels and switching that over, and any other like service that you provide, you know, whether it be like gel extensions or whatever. The next question is, how do you gain confidence in your own abilities? I'm still so unsure and hate charging people. Oh, this is a hard question to answer, I think, because it really, for me, the answer was just time and practice. So with time came my confidence building. Now, I did a full year's course at college. In fact, I did 2 years at college. I did my level 2 and my level 3. So in that first year, I didn't do any clients. I only worked on models at college, and obviously on my on the other students as well. But that year in college really helped me gain confidence in my abilities and knowing that I was doing the right thing in the right order. I think when you do, obviously I don't know what course this lady's done, but when you do a shorter course, whether it's like a day course or a 2 day course or even a 5 day course, that's really not a lot of time to spend with an experienced nail tech to make sure that you feel confident in what it is that you're doing and the work that you are producing. So I totally understand you feeling like a lack of confidence. But for me, it really just came with time. And I think that another part of it is like sort of don't focus too much on what's going on in your head. Focus on your clients, and if your clients aren't complaining and they're happy with the nails that you do on them, then most likely you're doing a good job. Because if you weren't doing a good job, you would have a high level of complaints, or you would have a high client turnover, so you wouldn't have the same clients coming back. So if you have a loyal regular client base and they don't complain and they think that you're doing a good job, you most likely are doing a good job. So I would maybe look at it in that way and look at it from maybe another person's perspective rather than your own perspective, because it can be really hard when you are relying on yourself and telling yourself that you're doing a good job, because that's not an easy thing to do in general. So yeah, I would just try to focus on the actual tangible evidence that you're doing a good job, not just what's going on in your head. As for charging people, that feeling never really goes away. Like, I still don't like charging people now when it comes to the end of a service and I have to ask for money or ask, how somebody wants to pay for their treatment. I always sort of cringe a little bit inside. I'm not so bad now, actually. That feeling's definitely like dwindled away over time. But people can be so awkward about money, so I think that just adds to it as well. Like, you don't know, what the person's going to be like. A lot of the times I've had situations where, like, I'll say, oh, it's £36, please, would you like to pay cash or card? And people just like give me a one word answer and then they don't say anything else, and I'm like, oh, thank you very much, and that's it. They don't say anything back. They're not like, you're welcome, or anything like that, so that just makes it a little bit awkward. But yeah, it's really hard to have confidence in yourself, but like I said, just try and focus on the tangible evidence that you have and the compliments that other people are giving you. So the next question also relates to rebranding. I should have answered this at the same time, but the question is, how long did it take you to completely rebrand, and do you have any tips to share? So to completely rebrand, so I started using Hona's Builder Gel in, I think it was May of last year. Yeah, May of last year. So I probably completely rebranded in about 10 or 11 months, maybe a year, something like that. It does take a while, and like I said before, it doesn't really matter how long it takes you, as long as you are choosing what's right for you. Don't go spending all of your money all at once, because you just don't really need to. If you're switching from a HEMA brand to a HEMA free brand, what's important is changing over your builder gel to start off with, and the rest can wait a little bit longer. The next question is, do you prefer doing French tips or chrome nails? This is, at one point this would have been hard to answer, but now it's quite an easy answer, and it's definitely French tip. If I'm doing a full cover chrome, so I'm literally just putting like a clear chrome over the top of, you know, a builder gel colour or a gel polish colour, then I don't mind doing that at all, because I have pretty much nailed that now. I know that the way that I do it, my clients come back and they don't often have chips or anything in the chrome. So if it's just full cover chrome, I would pick the chrome answer. But if you mean isolated chrome, then definitely I would definitely choose a French tip. In fact, I have completely moved away from doing isolated chrome. I just don't do it anymore. I don't think it's necessary. I have liquid chromes, like gel chromes, and I just use those, and I've never had somebody ask me to use my powdered chromes for isolated designs. And if somebody asked me now, I would probably say no, if I'm perfectly honest. The next question is, what surprised you about social media as a nail tech? I think I'm going to give a really positive answer for this one, because I didn't expect other nail techs on social media to be so supportive. Every nail tech that I've interacted with on social media has been so lovely and so kind and so supportive, and I didn't expect it to be that way. I expected it to feel like a lot more competitive and have a lot of sort of underlying jealousy, but I truly haven't felt that from anybody. And I also think another thing that surprised me with being a nail tech on social media is the amount of content that is out there. I did not realize how many nail techs were on social media and how many of them were killing it, to be perfectly honest. I just didn't, I wasn't aware of it before I became a nail tech and started posting on social media myself. So yeah, I would say they're the two things that have surprised me the most. The next question is, what type of nail art brush do you use for flower petals? So this is a really easy question to answer, because I just use the Clean Up brush by Hona. So this brush is it's like a triangular shape, and I find it really easy to do those sort of rough looking flowers, especially the ones that have like multiple colours in the petals, sort of like marbled flowers. If I'm doing a more detailed flower, then I will use my Hona liner brush. This is the 7mm one, I believe, or I'll use my Lucy Pastorelli really thin ones. I've got number 7 and number 8, depending on how small I'm painting the flower. The next question is, what's a nail trend you want to explore? This again is quite an easy question for me to answer, because it's something that I have wanted to use for a long time, and that is cat eye gels. Now, as you know, I am completely HEMA-free in my salon and hypoallergenic, so I don't know if there are any HEMA-free and hypoallergenic cat eye gels out there. If anyone does know of any, I would love for you to leave in the comments below. But I have recently discovered that cat eyes can come in powder form as well, and you mix them with a clear gel polish of your choice, and you can paint it on that way. So I am definitely going to be exploring that nail trend, and it's probably going to be a YouTube video that I do as well, if any of you are interested in that. It's just, I find cat eye gels are just so mesmerizing. I think that like the fact that you can use a magnet to make them like change so amazingly, like you can, the patterns that you can do are just crazy. The next question is, what's your favorite nail art you've done so far? This is a really difficult question for me to answer, because the amount of sets that I've done that I just absolutely adore, and I remember doing them, and I remember just like enjoying painting them is like, I've been so lucky that I've been able to do so many amazing sets. Most of them down to my sisters, because they they just sit for hours for me, which is amazing. But I one of the sets that pops out to me is a set I did on my sister, and it was each nail was a different food. I'll pop a picture up on the screen if I remember. And then another set that I did was on my other sister, and it was like these bugs. Again, I'll pop a picture up on the screen. I'm just trying to find a picture of them to remind myself of exactly what they look like. But they were really fun to do. They were sort of the first set that I'd ever done like that, and I really enjoyed painting them. Oh, also, I've just come across another one I really enjoyed painting as well, and they were a sea themed set that I did on my sister. Of course, I don't need to say that, do I? My favorite sets, I think, are always on my sister's, because I can really take my time in painting, and I don't feel under pressure at all to be done in like a certain amount of time, because they'll just sit for me and just let me do my thing. And obviously, like with my sisters, I just feel the most comfortable. So usually my favorite sets are on them. I'm trying to find the bug ones. Where are they? Oh yes, here they are. So they're like black, one hand's black, one hand's white, and then there's like gold bugs on them. And I these were inspired by another nail artist, and heavily inspired by PK Nail on Instagram. And I remember seeing that set that she did and just thinking, wow, I could never. And then my sister was like, oh, why don't you give it a go? And I was like, oh, okay. So I did, and I absolutely loved how they turned out. And I remember them not being as hard to paint as I imagined they would be. So they are definitely the top 3 sets, I would say, that I love the most. The next question is, do you use a specific nail art gel paint, or do you use your regular gel polish for nail art? Now, I have a selection of detail paints from Hona. That's what these ones are at the top here. All of these little pots are the Hona detail paints, and they are slightly thicker than the gel polishes. In fact, not all of them are thicker than the gel polishes, actually. I would say some of them are the same consistency as a gel polish. So I do tend to try and use them for nail art the most. So I have some colours that are like similar. So if a client picks like a colour in a gel polish that's similar to a detail paint, I will just use the detail paint colour, because I know that it's going to be easier to paint any intricate nail art with that. For black and white, I always use my Hona detail paints, and it honestly just depends what I'm painting. If I'm painting something really intricate, then I want to use something that's slightly thicker. If I'm painting something that's fairly easy to paint and I know doesn't need to be super opaque, then I will use my gel polishes. But I'll pretty much make anything work, if I'm honest. I think that the brushes you use really come down to how easy nail art is to do as well. It's not just about the gel polish or gel paint that you're using. The next question is, do you ever have problems with the nails discolouring due to chlorine or salt water? I don't think I've ever had this problem. I personally haven't had this problem on my own nails. I think that if that is an issue, maybe your top coat isn't sealing properly. I always cap the free edge of my top coat, so I don't know if that makes a difference. I don't think I've ever had a client experience discoloration from salt water or chlorine. Not that anyone has mentioned anyway. The next question is, what's your favourite hand creams? If I'm being honest, I am not really a hand cream user. I know that's really bad coming from a nail tech, because obviously we encourage using hand creams and cuticle oils. I do put my cuticle oil on as much as I possibly can. But hand creams, the best hand cream that I've ever used for smell and for texture is the Rituals one. I got the purple one and I really love the scent of that, but that was a lovely hand cream, so I definitely recommend them. Rituals is a more expensive brand, but I also tried their, what was it called? I think it was like their shower foam cream or something like that. And oh my God, it was like rubbing silk all over yourself in the shower. It was so nice. I remember I only got like a little tester kit of each thing. And I wish I'd have bought a big version of each of them. Because they were really lovely and smelt really, really nice. So I would definitely recommend Rituals. The next question is, what do you think will be the Christmas nail trend this year? I'm really bad at predicting things like this, like predicting nail trends and stuff. But I do think that this year we're going to see a lot of minis. So like tiny little minuscule designs like in the center of the nail. It was a little bit of a trend last year, but I do think that it's going to really come back this year. And I think that a lot of people are going to start using cat eye more for Christmas. I think that cat eye a lot of the times is used as an autumn nail art trend and for Halloween, but I think that people are going to start using it more into winter for Christmas as well. Those predictions are probably completely wrong because, like I said, I'm crap at predicting things, but we'll see. Let's see if I've guessed right, shall we, in a few months' time. The next question is, what's the most challenging design you've ever done? Now, this question I was thinking about last night when I was looking through the questions for the Q&A, and I was racking my brain trying to think of a design that really, like, made me frustrated and I found really challenging. And I was trying to think for ages and ages, and I was like, what was it that I did that frustrated me? Like, because a lot of the times with nail art, even if I find something challenging, I find it enjoyable, if that makes sense. And I don't think that that's what you meant by your question. So I was trying to think of one that like really like threw me and I really, really struggled with. And I finally remembered about the Grinch set that I did on my sister last year. And I actually did those on live. I think I was on live for about, I want to say like 5 hours. 4 or 5 hours I think I was on live for. They were so hard to do. I do not do character nails. That is not something that I do, and it's not something that I really want to get into, but I did want to give it a go. And obviously like Grinch is a classic, and how could I not do Grinch? But I found it really, really difficult to get his face right, and I did one that was like a little hand. I'll put a picture on the screen, but it was just so freaking hard, and I seriously was getting frustrated. I mean, I was on live, so I had to keep my composure a little bit, but I definitely think I lost my mind slightly during that whole process. But the end result I am so proud of. Do I think it looks perfect? No, absolutely not. But for the first time ever doing a design like that and like character work, I think that I did a pretty damn good job. And I might even give it another go this year. See if I can outdo myself. Maybe that'll be something I do every year. Maybe I should do a Grinch set every year and see if I can top myself each time. That might just be a special form of torture though. The next question is, what can a client do to make your job easier? I really like this question because I don't think that it's something that clients really think about. They don't think about the nail tech's point of view very often. But definitely, as for like in your appointment, with this season changing and it getting colder, people tend to like wearing fluffy jumpers, and your nail tech would really, really appreciate if you did not wear a fluffy jumper on your appointment day. Because let me tell you, that fluff gets everywhere. I had a situation today where my client, bless her, she was wearing a fluffy jumper. It wasn't like a big deal. She wasn't you know, she didn't touch it or anything with the nails, but it's just like the little fibers come off the jumper and they sort of just place themselves so delicately on the nail, and you cannot get them off, especially if they're like sat on like a tacky layer of gel polish. It's a nightmare. So definitely don't wear your fluffy jumpers this Christmas, and I mean autumn, winter. You know, just wear like a hoodie or something like that. Your nail tech will definitely thank you. And then also, something that people do that really frustrates me is not sitting forward in the chair. So when you're sat in your chair getting your nails done, you want to tuck yourself as close to the desk as you possibly can, because if you're sat too far away and you're just like placing your hand like this, we're constantly like tugging your hand towards us, and it really strains our neck and back. So if you're sat in your chair, just pull yourself forward. I mean, my chair's on wheels, so it's really easy to tuck yourself right under the desk and give me like your whole hand, because it just makes the job so much easier. And you find as well that you're more relaxed if you just sort of get yourself further over the desk, because if you're sat too far back, you're like sort of stretching and your arm doesn't relax. So definitely those two things. What else can I think of? Oh, telling your nail tech if you have broken or chipped a nail or cracked a nail. Just communicate with your nail tech. Even if you think that it's not worth communicating, I can guarantee it definitely is. And your nail tech will appreciate you telling them that you have a crack or a chip, because it's not even that it may take longer to do, it's just that it's nice to mentally prepare yourself for what the client is going to walk in with. And that also goes for like nail art as well. If you want in nail art, send your inspo over the day before, just so your nail tech can get prepared for whatever it is that they're doing on that day. Even if it's a selection of photos for nail art, at least then they know what the vibe is and they can mentally prepare themselves. And then obviously making sure that you take care of your nails is like the obvious answer. So making sure that you use cuticle oil on a daily basis, twice a day, and you wear gloves when you're washing up. You don't use your nails as tools. They're the main things to think about when taking care of your nails. So that will really obviously help your nail tech, because that means that you have less lifting, less chips, less breakages, if you just take care of them. And then this is the last question I'm going to do, because I think this video probably is already about 25 minutes long. Is what is a style or colour for nails you would never wear yourself? I've got a really simple and easy answer, and that is white all over. I think I would actually want to rip my nails off if I had them white. I don't mean like a creamy white or an off-white. I mean like white. I would absolutely hate that. I don't think that I've ever done white on myself. I've done a white French tip, obviously. I don't mind that. But like white all over, full cover, with nothing else. Oh no, I hate it. Even on other people, I hate it. I mean, you do you and you like what you like, but oh no, I absolutely detest it. And when somebody asks me to do white gel polish, I'm like, oh my God. Because it is the hardest thing to paint. I think white is even harder to paint than darker colours, and dark colours are hard to do. But yeah, other than that, I don't think there's really anything that I would absolutely hate to have on my nails. Maybe like really pointy nails, I probably wouldn't like that. Or like a bright coral colour. I would never go for like a bright colour like that for myself, because that is just not me. At the moment I have red nails, and this is Vino by Hona. It is a gorgeous colour, but I do have to say it takes about 4 coats to get a good coverage, so that is not fun. When somebody picks Vino, I sort of like shrivel up a little bit inside. I'm like, oh, I know this is going to take forever. Obviously, I don't actually mind because the end result is so worth it, but I know that it takes 4 coats and it's just a killer. But anyway, yeah. So that's all the questions I'm going to answer today. I probably have been talking for about 25 minutes, so I do apologise. But I tried to answer everyone's questions. In fact, I think I only missed about 5 of them. But I'll probably do another Q&A at some point soon, so hopefully if I do another one, I will get around to answering your questions then if I missed them. But I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment down below and like this video for me. That really helps push my channel out there, and I just really appreciate you for watching. So thank you so much. I will hopefully see you very soon. I've got some very exciting videos planned. I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to film them and edit them and get them up, but I am definitely going to do my best. So bear with me, and you can turn on the little bell notification so you can get notified when I upload. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.